All right. Thanks everyone for joining me again. I am speaking the truth, and make sure that you like and subscribe at the bottom. There is a link. I'm going to read Isaiah chapter 58 verse 1 because that's what I am that I am. That's what she commissioned me to say. Um, Cry loud and spare not. Raise up my voice like a trumpet. A trumpet. Tell the people of their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins. The modern day churches are full of impostor preachers that carry vomit, excrement, and a suffocating stench as incense to the great I am that I am. The churches are full of idolatrous prophets, priests, and false preachers, both males and females. They are all impostors, pretending to be someone else in order to deceive others for fraudulent gains, for money, sex, business, reputation, politics, etc. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 23, verse 4, and it reads, Then the king instructed Hilkiah the high priest and the priests of the second rank and the temple gatekeepers to remove from I am El Shaddai's temple, to remove all the articles that were used to worship Baal and Asherah and all powers of the heavens. So all powers of the heavens mean they were worshiping the sun, the moon, the stars, all the celestial bodies. Let's look at verse 5. Uh, so the king, he did away with the idolatrous priests who had been appointed by the previous kings of Judah, for they had offered sacrifices at the pagan shrines throughout Judah and even in the vicinity of Jerusalem. Again, listen, open up your spiritual mind. These were the idolatrous priests. You may call them a prophet. You may call them a preacher. Same thing. What were they doing? They had been appointed by the previous king of Judah, for they had offered sacrifices at the pagan shrines throughout Judah and even in the vicinity of Jerusalem. So the pagan shrines that they were offering to, in this instance, was dealing with the male prostitutes and the female prostitute shrines. They were offering as well. And who were they? They were the false prophets, the false priests, and the false preachers. They were the ones who were the leaders. So the imposters are just running rampant. You know, anybody who can go have enough money to go to seminary school or theology school, and they said, oh yeah, now I'm ordained, I'm the bishop, I'm ordained, I'm the preacher, I'm the pastor and founder, this is my church, and all this kind of foolishness. Well, just because you went to college and you get a degree and they say now you are a pastor for whom? Now you a preacher for whom? Now you a priest for whom? Because if I am if I am did not call you, you are an imposter. Because just because you go to college and let's say you get a degree in English, now you're an English teacher. You get a degree in social science, now you are a social worker. Well, it's the same thing the way they have it set up in the world. You go to college, to a seminary school, you get a degree in religion. Religion is not spirituality. You get a degree in religion from whichever university you get it from. That is not the spiritual way. That is man's way. Man is always trying to usurp authority, usurp authority over spiritual, but the two don't mix and the two are not parallel. Spirituality is way above anything a man could ever think of or imagine in his mind or his heart. Okay, let's go ahead and read verse, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and read verse 5. So, he did away with the idolatrous priests who had been appointed by the previous king. Okay, so I did finish up verse 5. They had also offered sacrifices to Baal, to the sun, the moon, the constellations, and to all powers of heaven. Verse 6. The king removed the Asherah pole from the Lord's temple, took it outside Jerusalem to Kidron Valley, where he burned it, and then he ground the ashes of the pole to dust, threw the dust over the graves of people. So the king did what was right by destroying the excrement, the abominations, the transgressions, the different ways that the people had set up these things to worship in place of worshiping the Most High, El Shaddai. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse 31. This is I am stating the Most High God. You must not worship the Lord your God the way the other nations worship their gods. For they perform for their gods every detestable act that the Lord hates. So, I am that I am. She gives clear instructions on the way that her people are supposed to worship her, not the same way that the other people worship false gods, and how they perform for their gods every detestable act that the Lord hates. So they actually perform detestable, abhorrent, wicked, evil, vile things that I am hates. They even burn their sons and daughters as sacrifices to their gods. Let's look at another verse. We can look at one more verse real quick. And remember, the name of this title of this video is Modern Day Churches Are Full of Imposter Preachers That Carry Vomit, Excrement, Suffocating Stench as Incense to the Great I Am That I Am. Let's go ahead and read verse 32. So be careful to obey all the commands that the Lord God give you. You must not add anything to them or subtract anything from them. Thank you. Like my video and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Thank you.